When I hired Kona Rise, it was more about stepping up to another level to see what results I would get with that. And I think we've gotten great results. Our online brand has grown, and we have still a long way to go, but we're certainly happy with the fact that we're now dealing with a professional group that really understands the deliverables, not just someone who wants to make some money and just wants to complete a task, right? We're working with you more as a partner, and you're really helping us to think more broadly, more strategically, and then like that very tactical, specific activity, you're handling that for me. So the fact that you're not only looking at the measurements, but you're also, all right, let me change the specific thing that affects viewership, that we know affects impact, that sort of thing. And then I think the third thing is just you're just pretty pleasant to work with. You're very nice. You're personable. Your approach is very caring. You seemed always interested in really helping. Not just taking, not just hurry up and sign up you know, and I never see you again. The fact that you put that personal touch with it and like, no, I'm working with Rebecca, and that feels good. And then sometimes people outgrow that and they don't have time anymore. But the fact that you're still boutique enough where you can work directly, I know that those conversations that we've had over the course of our working relationship, that you know who I am, you kind of get a sense for what I want to put out there. And so I feel comfortable with you in that sense. And so
Mhm.
that's important because my image is out there, my voice, but I feel comfortable putting that in your hands because of the way you seem to handle things in general, right? Just the way
Mhm.
you handle me, the way you handle our calls, your patience, your kindness, your pleasantness, the pleasantries you do. So you're a great person to work with in that regard.
Hey everyone, I'm here with one of our amazing clients, Stephen Motivate. You can find him on Instagram, on YouTube, and he's an amazing business owner. He has a fleet of Toro cars, and he also has a cleaning product called Diamond Shine, which is all over the place in a bunch of different stores. And we can talk more about that as we get into the interview. But today, Stephen, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about your experience working with me and with the company Kona Rise Digital. And so hopefully anyone out there who's on the fence about signing up will get some good insight on what you have to say and hopefully sign up. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
thank you for
Great.
joining me.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Um,
me.
yeah. Okay. So first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the Toro business, Diamond Shine, a little bit about your story and what you teach online?
Absolutely. So, my story is I've been an entrepreneurial minded since, gosh, 2004. And so I've had a bunch of ups and downs, a bunch of wins and losses. And in the space of entrepreneurship and social media, heard a lot of voices out there, and I'm like, hey, I've been doing this for a while. I should probably put my voice out there as well. So that's sort of the impetus for it. And, what I like to help people learn is that, you can generate a full-time income while being a part-time entrepreneur. So I have a 9 to 5 job, but I still have several side businesses. Now, in my 9 to 5 job, I do have a lot of autonomy and a lot of flexibility with my schedule, which is great, which I've then been able to leverage the autonomy I have to start or manage other businesses, including one that I started in the pandemic, which is my fleet of Turo cars. So with that, I teach people how to get into Turo, how to manage it, how to really excel in the space, learning from some of my wins and some of my mistakes. And so, I tell folks, hey, if you want to learn how to generate 6 figures in 6 months without quitting your day job, you can do that with the Turo platform. And so that's exciting. And I put out a lot of content online with that. And then the real gem of my business, or the thing that has really generated significant revenue, is Diamond Shine Cleaner. So that's a cleaning product that we have. We clean with the power of diamonds. That's our tagline. Our product is made with real diamond dust, which is the dust of a diamond, which is one of the strongest materials on earth. The dust is actually very strong as well, so it acts as a great agent to remove rust, stains, water stains, just a number of things. And so we've leveraged that, and we continue to build a cleaning brand around that. And so we're excited. We're now in 1,300 Lowe's stores, and that continues to grow. And so I certainly have my hands full, but the thing I want to encourage people with and always motivate them with is that it is possible. If you're willing to do the work, it is possible. People always say, you don't have enough time, don't have this or that, but if you're willing to do the work, it's possible to generate full-time revenue while being a part-time entrepreneur. So
Right. And I
sort of
think
my
that's
story.
one of, yeah, that's the incredible part. Because I first heard your story when you were on Anthony Neal's podcast on the table, and you're talking about how, which was so crazy to me at the time, was like, wow, he has a full-time job, which, and there's so many benefits to having a full-time job, even though right now everyone's trying to be an entrepreneur, but you have benefits, you have stability, all these things. But just because you have a full-time job doesn't mean that you can't grow other side businesses that bring
Exactly.
in significant revenue, which I think is pretty cool. And so some of the stuff that you teach online is like even how to do that, because there's stuff that comes along with it, like being able to outsource and building a solid team, all that kind of stuff to make sure that these things are working when you're sleeping or when you're in your job or when you're with your family, because he's also a dad and a husband.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, those are the things I help to encourage people with, is that, yeah, you can do it. It is possible. You've got to put the work in, but partnerships are key as well. Finding the right partners. In my businesses, I have a partner because I found out through my entrepreneurial journey that you can't do everything yourself. And it takes a lot of trust. But no one, hardly, I don't know if it's no one, but almost no one does anything significant alone. I think that's a quotable, or things that you'll hear folks quote a lot, is because, or another saying is, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team, or something to that effect. Because when you can lean on the skill sets of others, you really can, one, operate in your area of genius, what you're really good at, instead of having to wear all the hats. Um, but also you get to get the genius of others, and so the accountability of others, the chance to have something that's not just for yourself, but a dinner alone is great, but a dinner with others is even better. So one thing I revel in is the opportunity to achieve the goals, to get money, to make progress, to be philanthropic with a group of people and not just by myself. And when you are a part-time entrepreneur, it becomes almost a necessity to do it that way. So you're absolutely
Mhm.
right, and we try to teach people how to do that, how to build trust, what to expect on the journey.
Yeah. So before hiring Kona Rise Digital, and before we started working together, you obviously have these thriving businesses that are okay without social media, without having a social media presence. And I know one thing that you are also, like you said, now you've been passionate about is sharing the message that you have with other people, which, the best vehicle to do that is through online and social media. So before hiring us, I know you were kind of thinking like, hey, you're very much so wanting to build a personal brand. So what type of social media support were you looking for before you came across Kona Rise Digital?
Yeah, I was looking for a group that was able to take my vision and run with it, to show initiative, to do things without being told, to come up with a strategy and plan for me, to really extract from me what I'd like to see and then put it into action. Because I do have a full-time job, because I am a full-time dad, a father, a brother, a
Mhm.
son, all these things. My time is constantly um in high demand, I would say. And so and I do wear different hats at times because of the different things I'm involved in. And so really, again, having someone, like, before I would use Fiverr. I tried to get folks through Fiverr to help me, and it did okay. But then you start to see gaps, or you got results that were okay results, and maybe at a time that was all right. But before I hired Kona Rise, I was really looking for, how do I go to the next level? How do I approach this thing in a more strategic, better way. How who can I work with that's a professional in this area that confidently knows what they're doing and knows what the KPIs are, the key performance indicators, knows how to ensure that okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you don't need to do, this is what and that's different from just getting someone to do the work. And so I think when I hired Kona Rides, it was more about stepping up to another level to see what results I would get with that. And I think we've gotten great results. Our online brand has grown, and we have still a long way to go, but we're certainly happy with the fact that we're now dealing with a professional group that really understands the deliverables, not just someone who wants to make some money and just wants to complete a task, right? We're working with you more as a partner, and you're really helping us to think more broadly, more strategically, and then helping us execute on that.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually one thing that I wanted to make sure that when I started Kona Rise Digital, that we still had that human touch because we are a boutique social media marketing agency. So there is a team. I communicate me. I'm the one who communicates with the client because one of my favorite things that I learned throughout my career in digital marketing, my career when I was in Hollywood at Paramount Pictures and even at Good Morning America was storytelling and the importance of being able to share a message while telling a story and also capturing the viewer's attention. So in everything that we do, that's that's what goes behind it. We always want to educate, entertain, or inspire the audience. And so like when we started working together, the one thing was, okay, what's your vision for the next 90 days, for the next 12 months? What do you want to accomplish and what message do you want to put out there into the world? Also, what kind of audience do you want to attract? And then from there, we were able to come up with a strategic plan on how to do that. And with you specifically, you have a podcast that you put out and a lot of YouTube content. And so we started off with YouTube Shorts, and that has helped grow the YouTube channel. And then more recently, I think in the last 30, 60 days, or longer too, maybe, we've done Instagram Reels. So starting to grow on Instagram. And that's where we actually saw a big boost. Because you kind
Absolutely.
of went like you were maybe posting a couple times every once in a while on Instagram, once a week on YouTube. And then now we're posting about 20 times a week on social media. So that's 10 times a week on Instagram, 10 times a week on YouTube Shorts. And so we've been posting a lot more. What are some of the have you heard like any like your peers, have they mentioned anything or friends or has that what have you heard?
Absolutely. It's actually somewhat comical because I know that I've talked about certain things, but
Mhm.
sometimes I don't even see what I've said. So someone will talk to me about something I've said, and I've got to go look at it like, oh yeah, I did say that. And so that's the funny part of it. But a lot of people have been encouraged by it. A lot of people are, hey, keep going. Hey, love what you're doing. Hey, that helped me. Getting direct messages, people reposting and saying, "Oh, I really like that. Great advice, good feedback." And so that's important to me, and it's good to know. And the financial model that we haven't even fully developed yet. We've really been focused on building the awareness and making sure we're giving out a lot of free content and helping people in that way. And it feels good to know that you've been able to help people, you've been able to add value to them. And so that's significant. It means something. It helps us know that we're doing something important. I'm doing something important with my time here on earth. And so it's
Mhm.
exciting to be approaching that with a level of professionalism and a level of intentionality that,
Mhm.
to your point, really, we're really thinking about what we're doing, right? And when you do that, right, yeah, I remember a professor in college would say, um, "You can't manage what you don't measure." And so I love the fact that Kona Rise helps me uh, measure what we're doing, and thus helps us manage this activity. And we know we're making an impact, and I look forward to us continuing to make an impact and continuing to grow an impact because we're putting that much work into it. We know we're going to, and the consistency, to your point, we're not just here and there. Like we're serious, right? This is a serious
Mhm.
thing for us, and we seriously want to add value to people. We know it's working. And so yeah, it feels good. It feels good, and it's invigorating. It's exciting to know that we're not just playing on social media. You know, what I feel like I'm called to divinely is to make sure I'm motivating people, encouraging them, giving them good information and insight. And to know that I'm approaching that with intentionality is feels good.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the comments too, and even seeing some videos that pop off and being surprised, like, oh, well, that got like this many views. That's crazy. Or I wonder what it was about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and one thing that we do, because you mentioned you can't measure success without measuring, what was it? Without
Yeah,
measuring.
you can't manage what you don't measure.
Oh yeah, you
So
can't manage what you don't measure.
yeah. So
Yeah.
having those key measurements. Okay, looking at the views, I'd post stuff and I would never even go back and look at what did good or what didn't do good or what was hitting people, what was getting comments. And so I really wasn't managing it. I was active, which is a good first step. I
hmm
always encourage people to start, but how do you go to that
hmm
next level? And it's like you got to really measure it to manage it. And what Kona Rise brings to the table is a lot of that. Now we're really managing it because you're looking at all that. You
Yeah.
probably know better than me what my best video has been in the past week or month, etc. So, and I like that. I love that.
Yeah, at the end of each month, we go, and just for everybody watching, but at the end of each month, we go and we do a full data report. We look at every single post, see what performed well, what didn't, and why. And then we do this every single month. So over like 3 months or over time, you're able to see like the ups and downs, whether it's, oh, we had a boost in followers that month, or we had a dip, or why was that? And then that basically, like, we're very data driven. So that data really helps us come up with a game plan for the next month, or the next 30 days, 60, 90 days. So I'm happy that you
Yeah,
mentioned that. And actually, in the
no,
last
it's
like 30
key.
days, yeah, in the last 30 days on Instagram, you've had a 30% increase in your reach and your engagement, and also boosting your follower numbers. So we're going to look at the full data in a couple of days now, and I'm excited to see how it goes. And from there, we may change up a thumbnail, like the thumbnail styles. We may try longer clips or shorter clips. We may try a different style of caption writing. So, and with that, we'll let you know. We'll say like, hey, we're going to try this new thing, and then you'll give us the A-OK or the let's wait. So,
Yeah, and see, that's great. That's exactly what we need because you can't improve what you haven't started, and and you can't improve also what you haven't identified. So we're starting, we're improving, we're identifying other areas to improve, and we have a partner to do that because I still have 30 other things to do. I got to raise money, I got to spend money,
yeah.
I got to do marketing, I got to handle real estate issues, I got to negotiate with property managers, and with retailers. It's like you got all these hats. Like some folks need help, and I happen to be one of them, and I'm glad I found someone who could help. And I knew you were highly recommended because of the way I found you, but it's just it's hard to find good help, and
Mhm.
when you do find good help, it's a real blessing. It's like I said, it's like, okay, it feels good to know you're really taking what you feel as a calling seriously, so.
Yeah, yeah. And we're happy to support you too in any way that we can, and also be that um it's like a stress relief to where okay, social media is taken care of, cool. They're not gonna be messing up and making all these mistakes and stuff. Like they've got it. And so you can focus on all your other stuff and being a creator
Yeah,
and a teacher and all the other
absolutely.
stuff. So going off of
Absolutely.
that, what is one of your favorite parts, or what are like your top three favorite things about working with me and with Kona Rise?
Yeah, top three, as I mentioned, is the data, that you're data driven. That's huge. That you really do the work. So, like coming up with the titles and playing with that and doing just data sounds big and, oh, the data person. But when you get down to okay, what is this? What's the title of this post need to be? Like that very tactical, specific activity, you're handling that for me. So the fact that you're not only looking at the measurements, but you're also, all right, let me change the specific thing that affects viewership, that we know affects impact, that sort of thing. And then I think the third thing is just you're just pretty pleasant to work with. You're very nice. You're personable. Your approach is very caring. Very you seemed always interested in really helping. Not just taking, not just hurry up and sign up and you know, and I never see you again. The fact that you put that personal touch with it and like, no, I'm working with Rebecca, and that feels good. And then sometimes people outgrow that and they don't have time anymore. But the fact that you're still boutique enough where you can work directly, I know that those conversations that we've had over the course of our working relationship, that you know who I am, you kind of get a sense for what I want to put out there. And so I feel comfortable with you in that sense. And so
Mhm.
that's important because my image is out there, my voice, but I feel comfortable putting that in your hands because of the way you seem to handle things in general, right? Just the way
Mhm.
you handle me, the way you handle our calls, your patience, your kindness, your pleasantness, the pleasantries you do. So you're a great person to work with in that regard. And so
Mhm.
that'd be my third thing.
Thank you. My heart. It's like the work that we're doing is good. I'm happy.
Yes, good. Take that encouragement.
Thank you. Oh, okay, so last question. What would you tell someone who is on the fence about signing up for social media management with us? Maybe they're contemplating it, maybe they're looking at their budget, or maybe interviewing other agencies. What would you tell
Yeah, I would say if you're on the fence, if you've got the budget to do it, do it. If you don't have the budget, then maybe you're not ready. I don't know. You're going to get a professional approach when working with Kona Rise. So it's not. I don't think it's even for if you're not ready, then maybe you're not ready. But if you've got the budget and you're ready, I would select it's an easy decision. At least if I was consulting that person, it'd be an easy decision because they're going to do the work and you can just tell they're doing the work. You can tell they're involved. You can tell they know what's going on. It doesn't feel like you're just taking the money and someone else is in like it feels like with Kona Rise, there's a personal touch. There's attention to detail. Um, and so, like I mentioned about what I like about working with you, it's like when you have a babysitter, anyone who has kids out there, you don't want to leave your kids with everyone.
them?
But there are certain
Yeah.
people, if you find a good babysitter, you're not worried. You feel great because you leave your kids, you can go have a date night or do this because there's just a trust there. And so I would say if you're on the fence, but you've got and you're like, contemplating other people, you can trust Rise Digital to do a great job to deliver on what they said. And I think you'll be happy with them. And if you're not ready, that's fine. It is a mutual thing. And I think you've got to be willing to invest. What do they say? The best is not the cheapest, and the cheapest is not the best. So, Rise Digital, I'd say, go with them for your social media needs. Certified
Mhm.
by Stephen Motivate.
Certified with a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for jumping on this call. I know you're super busy, got all your things going on. So this is super helpful for myself and then also for anybody who may be interested in signing up, but just needs a little bit more information. So thank you
Yep.
so
Hope
much.
it's helpful. Yeah, thanks for having me. And thank you for being out in this space. Social media is a big space. And so it's cool to know that you're out there helping folks in this area.